Hey everyone, welcome back to my second channel, and unfortunately it has to be another me complaining about something. It's something that actually happened quite a while ago, but it's whenever I think about this, it's still annoying me very, very deeply. And it has something to do with Twitch. Now, I feel kind of like beating a dead dog at this point that's already like down, because Twitch has been getting a lot of shit because of their recent policy changes, especially in regards to brands, ads, I mean, how you can implement, brand content, how ads work, like a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm not gonna talk about any of this here. You've probably already seen like a bunch of other people talk about it. What I want to talk about is my own personal experience with Twitch support. Now, I don't think it is a necessarily brave thing to say that, or like controversial thing to say that any kind of support system on any platform that's relatively big is usually pretty bad. If you've ever had to deal with any form of support, whether it is with your ISP or a platform that you're using, you know how bad it is. But I don't think anything could have prepared me for the experience that I had with Twitch a couple months ago. So basically, to just kind of like sum it up, I changed my mobile phone number back in, I think, like May. But what you have to know is that I basically don't have access to my old phone number anymore. I think that's just the case with most people that switch phone numbers. They just don't really have access to their old SIM card or phone number anymore. I think it's something that's fairly common. Now, ideally, you want to have access to both your old phone number and your new phone number for a little while because of reasons. But unfortunately, in my case, I didn't. Now, the reason why this is kind of annoying, like if you ever had to change your phone number, you know how annoying it is, because on all of these platforms and websites and whatnot that you're site onto, usually, if you take account security seriously, you will probably have some form of two-factor authentication. I have this on pretty much all of my websites that I'm logged into, everything that I use frequently, and obviously that includes Twitch. Yeah, I wanted to just kind of like get started and change my phone numbers everywhere to like my new one, and this was actually like a fairly painless process. Like for the most part, these websites, when I wanted to change my number, they basically just sent me a confirmation email to make sure that it's actually me. Or in the case of YouTube actually recognized that it was coming from the same device, and so it kind of like managed to sync stuff up like fairly seamlessly. I was actually really surprised how well it worked with YouTube. Now, unfortunately, with Twitch, it's a bit of a different story. So under the security and privacy tab is where you can basically do anything in regards to your two-factor authentication settings. Now, there's three things you can do here. You can either add a new number, you can edit your old number to a new one, or you can delete your old number entirely. Now, I tried all of these things and I'm basically met with the same result every single time. And it's that Twitch is basically sending an SMS code to my old phone number to assure that it's me. Now, I probably don't have to tell you why this is kind of problematic, because once again, my old phone number doesn't exist anymore. It's not getting any messages, it's not in use, it's dead. So them sending an SMS code to my old phone number to verify my new one doesn't make a lot of sense. And none of the other websites that I've used before this use this method, because it doesn't make sense. Once again, most people that get a new phone number probably don't have access to their old one anymore. Ideally, they still have, but it's not something you can just like assume. And so it's kind of out of options at this point. First of all, I just looked stuff up. Like, first of all, I looked through like forums, Reddit, see if there were any solutions, and pretty much everything was pointing to me having to contact Twitch support, which makes sense. If it's something that I can solve, because there's nothing I can do here at all, I have to contact Twitch support. Now, before I move on, let me tell you why this is important first. Now, in the case that for whatever reason I get logged out of Twitch, I cannot log back in again. Because once again, if I try logging in, then Twitch will try to do the exact same thing as it does when I try to change my settings, and it's sending an SMS code to my old phone number, which is dead and doesn't exist anymore. Which basically means if I'm not changing my phone number, I'm locked out of my Twitch account for good, which is bad. All right, because then things get a lot more complicated, because then I don't even have access to my channel anymore. So I wanted to get this solved and sorted as quickly as possible. So I did contact Twitch support, basically just outlining the issue, the problem I run into, that I don't have access to my old phone number anymore. I did give them a little bit of information. For example, I told them my old phone number, which is kind of censored in the settings tab, which only I can know, right, in this case. I just gave them a bit of information to assure them that it is me and it's not like a scammer or whatever. And this is what they came back with. Now, this is a bit of a nothing burger response, the first one that I got. It's basically them saying where I can change my 2FA settings, which is like, you think I wouldn't know this by now? But in general, what they do here is they kind of point me towards the Authy app, which is an app that I also use for certain platforms, when it comes to two-factor authentication. Now, unfortunately, I do not have this this app linked with Twitch. So them basically, telling me to go to Authy and try to do it through them is a little bit pointless. Because once again, I do not have Authy linked to my Twitch account. So yeah, needless to say, this kind of led absolutely nowhere, right? Like they basically just told me stuff I already knew, or, tried to help me in a way that doesn't actually help me. So I sent them another support ticket, basically just clarifying, hey, I need to do this without the Authy connection. I do not have Authy connected to my Twitch account. There needs to be some other way to solve this. Maybe you guys need more information. I'm happy to provide more information for my identity if you need it, and then maybe you can change it yourself. And I just want to point out, all of this took like several days. Like this entire exchange, I was waiting for these emails for several days. And after a couple days, they came back to me with this email here, basically just saying they do not remove two-factor authentication under any circumstance, which wasn't what I was asking for. I want them to add my new phone number to the 2FA settings. I don't want them to remove my old phone number. That's something I can do myself then if I want to. And they're arguing that doing so would defeat the purpose of my account having that extra level of protection. It's a bit of a nothing burger argument to make, because if I can provide information and proof of identity, where's the issue? What's stopping you at that point from just changing this yourself, especially in the case like this where I can't do anything? Twitch support has to do something here. That's just how it is. And this second line I also love. They basically mentioned that they reviewed the information that I provided and they were unable to verify ownership, which is like, okay, then tell me how I can verify it. Tell me what I have to tell you so that you believe me that this is actually me and this is my account. Do I actually have to like sit down on stream, speaking into the camera, saying, yes, please fix this thing here. Take my support ticket seriously. And do I have to then clip it and put the link of the clip into the support ticket? Like, what am I supposed to do to verify my own identity here? I just don't get it. The fact that they just give me absolutely nothing to work with here makes this extremely frustrating. But this is where it gets really funny, right? Because then at the end, they once again link me towards an Authy FAQ type of website. Although I have already told them my own Authy, account is not linked to my Twitch account. So anything in that regard does not help at all. Because it's not involved. It's not like the entire thing is not involved with my, with my Twitch account. Regardless, I still decided to take a look at it just because. And this is where it gets really funny, because near the bottom, I can actually find the exact case or the exact situation that I am in, which is I no longer have an active wireless service or phone number. Although I have a new one, but I obviously don't have access to my old one. In the fucking FAQ, that Twitch support put into their response to my support ticket, where they say they cannot do anything because they don't want to, because it would defeat the purpose of my account having extra protection. In the very FAQ where they say this, Authy says users who no longer have an active wireless service phone number will need to contact Twitch directly and ask them to disable two-factor authentication on their account. So the very thing Twitch is saying that they can't do and won't do is the exact thing that Authy is recommending in the guide that they linked me. I don't know if it's just incompetence or if it's laziness or unwillingness to help me. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. I do find this really funny. But I also find this extremely frustrating, because that's just kind of where I left it. I was so pissed off because of this situation that I haven't actually tried to resolve this issue in quite a while now. There's only 3 ways that I could proceed on this. Way number 1 is just accept it and just continue streaming on Twitch with my old phone number still there. And if at any point, for whatever reason, I got locked out of Twitch, say goodbye to the account and move to YouTube streaming. That is obviously not a great solution. In fact, I would argue that's not even a solution at all. At that point, you're just avoiding the problem. Way number 2 is basically just keeping on bashing my head against the wall with Twitch support until hopefully eventually I meet someone, through these support tickets that is actually willing to help me with this issue, which I also don't want to do. After 2 emails, I'm already done, man. I don't want to deal with this any longer. Now, way number 3, and honestly, this is probably the most efficient way to get this problem actually solved. But in my opinion, this is an absolutely terrible solution, and it's to get partnered. So right now I'm still an affiliate on Twitch which a lot of people are that, you know, have like more than 3 viewers or whatever. So it's incredibly easy to get affiliated. But if you are partnered, for which the requirements are a lot higher, maybe once I am partnered with Twitch, I can contact some kind of like partner relations manager, you know, some person that is actually somewhat involved with Twitch, or at least has like a direct line to Twitch that can then help me out and talk to me, and I can resolve this entire issue with. Now, I do think this is the most likely way I can solve it. I think I should by now reach the numbers for partnerships, so it's certainly possible for me. But the reason why I think this is a terrible solution is because getting partnered to solve such a basic issue, like I can't imagine how many people lost their Twitch accounts because of this nonsense. Because once again, I just want to point out, this entire thing was no issue at all on all these other platforms that I was signed up on, right? Like we're talking YouTube, even Amazon, Twitter, Instagram, all of these platforms, social media or not, I was able to just change my phone number just as is. So why the fuck does Twitch need to make it so difficult and so restricted to just change your damn number? And becoming a partner is just such a terrible solution, because it's not a solution at all for most people. Like, it's not possible for everyone to just get partnered, then have some kind of partner manager help them sort this out. So yeah, that's kind of where I left it. So I think my way forward from this issue is probably just, you know, try to send in a partner application, hopefully get accepted. And then once I am partnered, I'll try to reach out to some kind of like relations manager or whatever, and hopefully that person can then help me solve this issue. But what a train wreck. What a train wreck to such a basic issue. But yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. I swear I initially meant for this channel to not be about like complaining stuff, especially now we weren't even talking about a game. I'll do more of that from now on, unless there's once again something that like really pisses me off like this. But yeah, that's just kind of where I wanted to leave it, guys. Thanks so much for listening to me rant about this nonsense. I hope you found this entertaining, at least to a certain degree. And yeah, until then, hopefully see you guys back again. Take care.